You're watching Awjiz Boys Show.
Hey listeners, let's talk about elevating your wardrobe with some serious style.
Absolutely. If you're all about expressing yourself and supporting the movement to normalize cannabis, then you gotta check out the Urban Connoisseur. They've got an incredible lineup of apparel that's all about living life elevated.
We're talking heavyweight chenille, skull hoodies, vibrant t-shirts with bold statements, and even some sleek accessories like snapback hats and comfy socks. And let's not forget those live life elevated gym shorts, perfect for the summertime.
And they got a deal for Awjiz listeners. They're offering an exclusive 20% off their entire shop. Just use the promo code Awjiz, AWJIZ, when you check out.
Dive into their collection of fashion-forward pieces that do more than just look good. They're about making a statement, breaking down barriers, and sparking conversations.
Sparking. I like that. Whether you're looking for something casual, like a gas emoji t-shirt, or something that stands out like THC logo crew socks, THC, the Urban Connoisseur, has got you covered.
Check out their full range and take your style to the next level at theurbanconnoisseur.com. And remember to use special promo code AWJIZ for 20% off your purchases.
And now,
let's get back to the show.
Viewer discretion advised. The Awjiz Boys with Dauood and Kane is a satire shows intended for mature audience. Okay, the view, thought, and opinion expressed are solely those of the Awjiz Boys and do not represent any business, partner, or affiliate. If you are under 18, please seek parental consent before continuing. If audio discretion is necessary, please exit this video or podcast immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all it.
Okay. You speak more.
When I was a kid, my dad used to beat me all the time.
Yeah, clearly.
And there's a reason why when I get hit in the face, I just kind of walk it off and just keep doing what I'm supposed to do.
What's the reason?
Because when I'm around other people, I'm not allowed to show emotion.
Oh.
Like if I get hit in the public, I can't cry because then I'll get more hit, more beat.
That's what your dad would do.
That's what my dad will do. Like if I fuck up publicly, my dad will just smack me in the back of the head. But if I'm like, oh, Dad, why do you do that? He'll just hit me again.
Yeah.
So I have to be like...
It's like asking for seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have to just be quiet and just keep it as it. But when we're solo, I could like express my emotions. Like Dad, this hurts. And tears would fall.
Oh, and he wouldn't hit you.
No.
He would still hit you
He
again.
still hit me. But then in front of public, I was happier because I'd be like, this is less. So I'll take this pain kind of thing.
I see. You didn't want the shame on top of the hitting.
Exactly. And
Okay.
What this has created
Yeah.
is that my father will say, come here, like to me or any of my brothers. And we'd be like, oh, we're coming.
Yeah.
Right away.
For sure.
But my youngest brother,
Yeah.
he's just like,
He didn't get hit.
he got hit. But not as much.
Okay.
The older ones got hit the most.
For sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So when he gets called by my mom or by my dad, he's like, I gotta wait till I get called second time at
Really?
least. At least.
Yeah.
Then I'll come out. Right?
I still get social anxiety when someone says my name in public.
No, but think about it, you guys are at home.
Someone says my name from like another room or somewhere far,
Yeah.
I get like anxiety.
But is it David or Dauood?
Either.
Interesting.
Yeah. They switch. My
What
parents.
if they weren't talking to you and they just said that name?
I would get anxiety. Yeah. Just hearing my name is like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Okay. What if someone's name was like Lavid and then they said Lavid?
Yeah.
And then that's not your name.
I'd be very upset that someone named their child Lavid.
Okay.
That would make me mad. Have you met a Lavid?
I'm sure it exists.
No.
What about
Never in the history of.
what about a
existence of-
Lawwood?
Okay, a Dawood?
Lawwood.
What are these names?
I'm saying.
What about Mahmoud? How about that? How about a name that exists?
And then that would trigger you?
That'd trigger me.
Oh.
Yeah, if I heard ood.
Well, think.
If I hear dude in the wrong setting, it gets me going. Yeah.
What if they were like, "Hey, yo, Blondie"?
No, I started going blonde later in life. I had built confidence to do the hair.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So-
That didn't do anything for you.
No, you can call me anything you want. It doesn't matter.
So
with
if
the
your
hairstyle.
parents called you once.
I always come.
Okay.
Okay.
Personal.
Done.
Keep it. Okay.
Yeah, I can't come unless my mom actually says my name.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense, actually. So,
You know what's crazy? I didn't know they watched this.
They watch it.
That's wild,
Your
dude.
dad was criticizing the pod.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like how you guys did this, but nothing to do with like the sexual adventures I've been on or like the drug use.
He's like, we assumed that would have happened.
Yeah, or the gay jokes.
Or any of that.
It's just like you guys were a little too chill to the talibs. I'm like, all right.
But okay, the thing of like being called, right? Like
Yeah.
just once or twice. What if you were called 3 times?
Yeah,
Does that mean that whatever they said is more serious?
they wouldn't call me 3 times.
Because you'd already
If they called me once, I didn't show up. They called me twice. They'd be in my room for the 3rd time,
interesting.
ready to hit me or something.
Okay, with a belt or something.
Yeah. Also, 3 times. That's like Beetlejuice.
It is Beetlejuice.
Yeah. So if they're saying Dauood, you have to appear by that 3rd one.
You must.
Yeah.
But what if, let's say, fast forward later on in life, you're married, inshallah, and then things are not going well with your
Dude,
Afghan wife?
if a girl says my name during sex, I'm like, I get anxiety. It's like, which room do you need me to be in? I can't come to this.
Do you prefer if she said another name like Kane?
You know what's crazy?
She wouldn't say that.
Nobody says that.
Yeah.
But I used to go by David for most of my life.
Yeah.
I started going by Dauood when I was like 24, 25.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I don't like this white name. And the first time I hooked up with a chick, and she said like, "Oh, Dauood," I didn't catch it. I was like, "Wait, what? What? Oh, that's me!" Like, it took me a second.
Is it because they found your government name or something?
No, because I was going by Dauood by that point.
How long did it take for you to like accept it?
It took me a while because I used to turn my, probably even more than that, like 2-3 years. I used to, like, anytime someone said David, I would turn Dauood. Not as much.
Yeah.
Now, like, I'm used to it.
Yeah, I always introduce people like, hey, how's it going? Salam, my name's Kamal.
Yeah.
And then even though everyone knew me as Kane,
Yeah.
that was what I would go by. Because when I was in college,
What do your parents call you?
Kamal, obviously.
Okay. And my parents switch.
My family calls me.
My sisters call me David. My dad calls me David. My mom's the only one who calls me Dauood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you prefer no
Preference.
I
Yeah. I'm growing more and more to hate David.
I see.
But I liked people who know me, like when I was young, they call me David still. So doesn't bother me.
Was there any pronouns that your dad would throw at you?
Yeah. Hawk decided? No. Yeah. The dirt on your head. That's my pronoun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would make sense. But
Yeah.
something that didn't make sense. Because if you think about it, you kind of look like you have sand on your head or something.
Yeah. Pronoun that didn't. No, my dad. My dad doesn't know what pronouns are.
Yeah. Or something.
No, hell no. My dad never said hey bacha or
like
sag, I guess.
sack.
No, not bacha sag, just sag.
No, because they insult themselves.
They always do that, yeah.
Why
Not
do
a lot, yeah. So a lot of that, but
No.
no. I feel
No,
bad.
it's just like if you think about it, because like being called 3 times makes the thing more serious, right?
I see what you're doing.
And what I found out recently
Okay.
is
There you
that
go.
in a Muslim marriage,
Yeah. Sharia.
Sharia,
Yeah.
Sharia law,
No, that's the girl that you're married to.
that's the
Yeah, that's a Muslim marriage.
Oh yeah, okay. Name is Sharia.
I met this girl Sharia. That actually sounds like a black chick.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sharia and Kelsey.
Yeah. Kelsey.
I don't know.
Why is she married to a white guy? Or is Kelsey the chick?
Well, he's a Muslim, so he has to get a couple.
Okay.
I see. He got a Sharia.
Do you know a Sharia? I've never been a Sharia. Where does that word come from?
I wanted to say Islam, right?
Well, yeah, but is it like someone's name? Is it like?
Do
Is
you
it
know
like?
any people named Sharia?
That sounds like a name.
Yeah. Is it like a?
Do you know? I know a Sharif.
Is it like an Amber Alert? You know, like a Sharia law. You know,
I see.
or Megan's law, right?
Doesn't Sharia just mean laws or rules?
So we're saying Sharia laws.
I don't know.
It's like chai tea. It's like saying the same thing twice, or ATM machine.
I think it is like that.
We
Yeah.
say Sharia law, so I
don't
know
know.
that's the influence of the West, right?
Yeah, but if you're speaking Farsi, you just say the
Sharia.
Sharia.
Yes.
So I think it means just like the rules or the law.
How much you know about Sharia law? Do you
Quite
know?
a bit.
Do you know about like what if I was to divorce my partner? What the process?
Yeah, there's a whole chapter in the
see.
Quran about that.
Do you know one of them that says
We looked one up.
we looked one up
Uh-huh.
and it said that the guy.
It's
Go
how do you say talaq bada? Do you know bada? Does that make?
well, we
sense
don't have to go that specific because like there's people that don't know. So
There's different types of divorces,
Yes.
right?
Right.
There's ones that the man can proclaim. There's one that the woman can proclaim. There's a mutual one.
Yes.
And then, but when a man proclaims it, he has to wait 3 menstrual cycles.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's awesome.
And then each time has to keep
And he has to proclaim it each time after every cycle.
That's
like I still want a divorce, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has to be a time of purity. They can't be fucking during that.
Okay.
So it's like to really let the guy know, like, hey, this is what you're missing out on,
Or let the girl know.
or okay,
Because the guy's the one that I want the divorce, right?
yeah, he wants the divorce,
And
so
then
he
he's
needs
like, let's stop all the sex. And she's like, we started?
yeah, no, but it's like she's not losing anything.
Hmm.
He's the one like
Why? Wait, she's also losing, right?
Yeah,
I
she's
think they're
losing.
happy.
I understand. No, they're clearly not happy.
Well, he's not happy.
Yeah,
'cause the guy
so
is
she's
calling
losing, but she already knows that she's losing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right, but I mean, traditionally, she would be losing like her financial provider.
Oh, but I think he has to pay.
Yeah, there's a
Right?
dowry or something.
Right, but that's I think determined prior to the marriage.
What's a good
Yes.
dowry? What's a good amount, would you say, for a human woman?
I think it just depends on the
What
family.
would your family accept for you?
Has this ever come up?
It has. I'm not a big fan of it personally. I think I would do one of those more symbolic ones where it's like a very small amount,
Okay. Yeah.
or the amount is for something like the college fund of our future kids or something.
That's cute. Well, what's your? Let's say you were a woman. What would your dowry be? I got mine.
I wouldn't want it.
I want 5 Bitcoin.
You could do that.
Yeah, I want crypto.
Yeah, you
But
could do
that's
that.
like a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm a fucking.
Yeah, but
I'm
why
a
just
classy
ask
bitch.
for that much money?
Well, it fluctuates, you know. Kind of like
But
me.
what if by the time you cash out it's zero?
Well, that's the gamble.
But why
That's what marriage is.
Yeah, but why'd you say I want a house? You know, something.
Nah, I don't want a house. I want crypto.
You want
I
crypto?
want to be a crypto bride.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. But hey,
Hey,
we're the Awjiz Boys.
I'm Dauood.
I'm Kate. And today we're here with a special guest, a Herati lawyer. Her name is Elmira John. Elmira, say hi.
Salam,
Did I say your name right?
Elmira.
Fuck. Mentally, I thought I was there, but
A lot of people think it's Almira because I think that's a common
Yeah.
name, or Omeira.
yes.
Yeah, I know a lot of Almiras.
Elmira.
Elmira.
Where did you graduate from, by the way?
So I graduated from UC Irvine
Yeah.
and then University of San Diego Law School.
Where did you grow up?
So born in Iran
Oh shit.
and then moved to Virginia when I was 4.
Okay.
Lived in Virginia till like 12 and then moved to San Diego.
Do you have a dual citizenship?
Not right now. I think you have to like
Do you get a citizenship in Iran when you're born there? Do they have those like laws, or is it just like?
Definitely not Iran. I never had citizenship in Iran because I
okay.
don't believe they give citizenship to non-Iranian people. So I was Afghan, born in Iran. And so if you look at any of my paperwork, it says I was born in Afghanistan.
Even though you're born in Iran.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what she wants anyways, right? She doesn't want to tell people that I'm associated with the likes of Ali or something.
Yeah, he was born in Iran also.
Yes.
I think we keep bringing this poor guy up. Nothing wrong with Vali. Vali's awesome,
And he's Hirati, right?
and he can't come to the States because he has a
think he
case
is.
apparently.
I
Yes.
think he
I
is.
think he is too.
Yeah.
Hirati in Iran, like, I feel like your dialect's very similar, right? It has
is-
that accent, right?
Do you
It
say
is-
merci for thank you?
No, I
No.
don't. Unless I'm talking to someone who is Iranian.
Yeah.
And it's actually really funny because one of the reasons I get really shy about speaking Farsi with non-Hirati people
Yeah.
is because I will mix Iranian Farsi with Hirati Farsi. Like, for example, I'll forget how to say red. Is it surkh or qarmiz? One of it is Iranian, one of it is Afghan.
I've never heard of Kadmins. Yeah, we're surkh gang.
Yeah.
over
Or
here.
surkh. Okay, so
No,
there's
sorry.
3 ways.
I have an accent.
No.
You're saying it right.
Yeah, surkh. Yeah.
I just have
Surkh.
it. I just have
Say
a bad.
surkh.
Qarmiz.
I say surkh.
Surkh.
Yeah,
I just
surkh.
have a bad accent. All right,
No,
I'm sorry.
I think, I think it's right. Surkh is right. She said surkh.
Can you say cough? Cough.
Cough?
Cough.
Oh, the Arabic letter?
Yeah.
Cough.
Cough.
We're all saying it.
I don't think any of us are saying it.
Cough.
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 I think she's saying it.
I think we're all saying it.
I'm not.
I
saying
think it's calf.
Okay,
Cough.
now,
cough.
No, now I'm confused.
now we're all confused.
You know what I'm talking about though? Your parents never made you do that growing up?
No.
They're like, say cough.
I was
You're like,
born in Afghanistan. I
Oh
went to
yeah.
school there.
I keep forgetting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's like ob and o.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, ob is formal in how you write it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's how I learned it when I was learning how to write.
That's good. Yeah,
Farsi.
you learned the formal way. for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Like when I talk to an elder, I say shema. I don't say tu.
Nice. Yeah, Shema.
Shema, right? Dawood?
I say, sit down, bitch. I don't talk to old people.
But my Farsi is very casual.
Yeah,
So again, when I speak Farsi and it has to be formal, I get a little shy.
For sure. I don't speak Farsi because of how informal I think in English. So I translate English to Farsi, and it comes off very aggressive and rude.
Okay.
Always. I remember I was trying to give my seat. Did I tell you the story already?
Tell me, what's up?
I tried to give up my seat to my uncle. Like, he came into the room, I stood up, and I was like, here, take my seat, uncle.
Yes.
But what I said is bishi. And
you just say beffarmayın.
yeah, I didn't know. I was like, sit, have a seat, you know? And he was like, who the fuck is this kid that you're talking to? And I was like, all right, no more Farsi for me.
Yeah.
Just fucking
You could just do like sign language. You just get up and be like,
I just like,
But
yeah.
were you sincere? Because if you
Yeah, I literally,
bishi,
I literally-
I feel like I feel like you were like bishi.
no, I didn't fucking say bishi, bisharaf. No, I saw him come into the room. I stood up, I hugged him. I was like,
I think the formal way is beshinim.
Bishinin?
Bishinin.
Bishinin?
Yeah, bishinin I think is more. It works. Bishinin works.
Yeah,
Beffarmayın I think is the
the
most
best one.
formal. Like,
But that's what I'm saying. So it's a very formal language, and English does not translate well to it,
yeah, especially American English.
especially American English.
Yeah, our vocab is low, so there's slang mixed in there.
Yeah.
But what about talking to your parents? Do you speak English or do you speak Farsi?
It's mixed. I try to always speak in Farsi when I'm speaking with my mom because I don't want my Farsi to get worse. Like, I'd like it to get better. My younger sister's actually really good. She's been speaking completely in Farsi with my mom, I think, for like the last couple of years. And her Farsi has improved immensely.
Are you going to speak Farsi to your kids?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
Well, speaking of parents, is there any movies or any classic movies or TV shows that you watch with your parents?
So growing up, yes, not recently.
Yeah.
My mom is very much into the Turkish dramas these days.
Oh, yeah, my mom
So
too.
I don't watch those things, but like
Why
growing
does she
up,
want anxiety?
huh?
Why does she want anxiety?
I know.
Yeah, they're very stressful.
They love it.
Everybody's dying and coming back and having twins. Everybody has an evil twin.
Everyone has an evil
It's
twin.
Everyone
like
has
the
an evil
same
twin.
plot in like the same themes in every movie.
Over and over again, yeah.
But she's watched so much to the point where like she doesn't even need the subtitles anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh, mashallah, she picked up a new language.
But growing up,
Let's
my
hear it.
mom was like super into like the Lifetime movies.
Yeah, where
And
the women
so-
just get beat.
Yeah,
Constantly?
and like all the kids get kidnapped.
Yeah.
And-
oh, have you ever seen that movie with Sally Fields when she
Yes.
gets kidnapped to Iran?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I watched that with my mom.
Yeah. I watched that with my mom too.
And so
Women love movies about them getting kidnapped.
and it makes them even more protective
Yeah.
and scared. So like my mom was very overprotective because she was watching all these Lifetime movies and she constantly thought I was going to get kidnapped, murdered, God forbid, like the worst of the worst. And so I was watching those with her so she could just be like, "Anime bini." And so she's like, "This is why I am the way that I am."
Oh, sure. It makes sense. My mom would do the same thing to me, but it was different. She's like, you see, you're going to be a kidnapper someday. So, like, what the fuck are these movies about? What are we watching?
The worst would be though if I picked a movie, and there would be like an intimate scene or a kissing scene, and I would just like pretend like I'm doing something else, like I'm just ignoring what's on the
At
screen.
that moment?
Yeah, and then
But
my
there's
mom
no phones then.
No, she would just like
like just like I'll just act like
Oh,
or I'll start talking to her to distract her, and then she'll just look at me like
This is what you chose?
this is what you're watching.
Yeah.
Gunadore. And so
That's hilarious.
and then she'd still blame me even if she picked the movie and an intimate scene came up because she'd be like, "What is this?" I'd be like, "Mom, you picked the movie."
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I have a great trick for that. It's very simple.
Let's hear it.
Me and my parents, what we used to watch together is Bang Bus.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, and that way you desensitize them immediately.
What is that?
Never mind. It's a porno. That's not funny now.
Why would you think I would know what that means?
Bang Bus? I feel like the name is kind of.
I didn't even hear.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, now do you know it? Now that you heard it?
No, but
Okay.
it's Bang Bust.
Yeah. No, bus.
Bus.
Like a
Bus.
vehicle.
Oh, Oh,
Yes.
no, I've never heard of that.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
you are much more innocent than us. Let's go. What are we talking about?
We're talking about movies, man. What movie did you watch with your
I
family?
already told you.
Bang Bus?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
No,
you.
there's just a whole bunch of stuff in my family. I don't know. That's literally my bonding with my family is watching movies.
Because you guys
We own a video store,
Video
so
store, that-
literally still my favorite thing with my family is just watch movies with them.
That's
like
it.
Richard Pryor movies, Eddie Murphy movies.
I fuck with Rich Pryor.
Yeah, comedies. My dad loves comedies.
Oh, he likes American
He
comedy.
loves American comedies. Hates my comedy.
Does he love Coming to America by Eddie
Loves Coming to
Murphy?
America.
Does your family like Coming to America by Eddie Murphy?
No.
Your family, do they like anything American? American
I don't
culture?
think she knows what Coming to America is.
No, I've seen it. I've seen the movie.
You're just upset that I even brought it up. You're like,
I think she's still mad about the Big Boss thing.
There's a lot of women in my family, so it's more of like the romantic movies and the dramas, not really the comedies.
no action.
Big bros.
Yeah. I think some action movies, yeah. Like I used to go to the movie theater with my aunt, because she's only 9 years older than me.
Yeah, one of those aunts.
And so like we'd go to movies. Like I remember one time we went and watched Shutter Island.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah.
Did you watch any horror movies with them?
I don't think so. No.
Interesting.
I
No.
think Afghans would like horror movies because they're so superstitious and they believe in all that stuff.
We like only like the arwah, the ghost type of horror.
Yeah, we don't think like a serial killer.
We like, we could finesse this. Let's just not believable. I hate those.
Why don't you just shoot him?
Yeah. But they're more popular with the women.
Well, yeah, women do love like true crime stuff. Are you into that at all?
I am, yeah.
Why are you into that?
I don't know. It's just so interesting.
Do you find serial killers attractive?
No.
Not at all.
But women do that though, right? Serial killers always have a lot of like
Female fans.
Female fans.
Like I saw a picture of like Ted Bundy and I'm like, he's ugly.
Get it?
I don't understand. People think he's
Has
attractive.
Riz, probably.
He has to have riz.
Yeah.
Serial killer riz? That's a different type of riz.
That's what we.
He got a girl pregnant while he was in jail, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
okay.
It's a good thing our parents are watching this.
Do you, since you know you practice law, do you when you watch these true crime stuff, do you watch it with like a different eye, or like that wouldn't happen, or I could have got her off, or he could have got away with it if I was the lawyer?
I do now
Okay.
because I just kind of have the expectation that someone's going to ask me about it and they want some sort of explanation on why certain things happen certain ways.
Sure.
So I do look at it from that lens. And also if they're like portraying the actual trial on TV, then I'm watching like the defendant testify and I think about how do they prep him? If he does a really bad job, I'm like, his defense attorneys must suck, or he just has a really bad relationship with them and he doesn't listen to what they're saying. I think about those things.
Do you think OJ did it?
I feel like the evidence was pretty strong in that case, but I think his defense team was phenomenal.
Stronger.
Yeah.
That's what you do, right? You're on defense.
I am defense, yeah.
That's awesome.
And that just goes to show, like, even if your client did it,
Yes,
it doesn't matter. It's whatever the prosecution can prove happened.
for sure. Do you have to deal with that often, where you like the person is like, this fucker did it? Like in your heart of heart, you're like,
Yeah.
he's guilty, but you're still like, you're gonna give him the best case you possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's my job. I would say, though, a lot of times, and I think this is a misunderstanding, a lot of times we're not saying it didn't happen. So there's two ways that I take on a case, right? One where the facts are a little bit unclear, so you can actually refute and say, this didn't happen. This could have happened instead. And then the other way is the evidence is really strong. Everybody knows you did this. Let's try to mitigate this as much as we can. And then that's when you like bring in, like character letters, and you bring in like a psychological evaluation to say, hey, this guy has like some issues. That's why he acted this way. So let's just make his punishment less severe because this is why he did it.
I see. Do you win every argument in a relationship?
I love this question.
I feel like you would be amazing at it.
I have to be very careful about how I answer that question. No, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Could be wrong, but you know how to win the argument.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless.
You can massage it so the punishment isn't as bad.
You know what's funny? I have been accused of that. Where it's like even if you're wrong, you're gonna win because you know how to articulate yourself better.
Twist words and stuff like that.
That's amazing. I want that skill.
Oh, for sure. I've always wanted to be a lawyer, but
I just want that skill to be always right in an argument, knowing you're wrong. Because once I know I'm wrong, it's really hard for me to continue the conversation and pretend like I'm right.
no,
I agree with that, which is why when I know I'm wrong, I will say, you know what, you're right, I'm wrong.
you guys are both very mature.
That's fair.
I'm not like that. Okay, so I know I'm wrong half the time. I'm wrong most of my life. I'm wrong all the time. I'm like, I can't let her win. There's a power dynamic here.
Honestly, I think a lot of men think that way.
No, I don't think that like that. I'm often apologizing to my partner.
Yeah. But
You've reached the emotional maturity.
Or I know that's how I get her off my back, and then I continue doing what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still smart.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta take the punishment.
Ask
Is
for
there any, like,
forgiveness.
lawyers in on like television that like you like Suits? Did you ever watch that? Do you feel any way about that? Is it real? Is it
I watched Suits, I think, when I was like still in school. I haven't watched an episode since actually practicing law, but I do know that that's very like not realistic at all. I would say like one show that I watched pretty recently was The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix.
Okay.
And that I think is very close to like actually what I do, because he's a criminal defense attorney.
Did you watch that at all?
I haven't seen it, but I watched a little bit of Breaking Bad, so I've seen him in those episodes. You know, you never want to be associated to that type of lawyer, right? Because ethics is very important in my field, and you always want to be ethical. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very important. So I will always like double check, like, hey, can I post this? Can I say this? Because it might be unethical.
What's your favorite lawyer movie?
My
Or
favorite-
Lincoln Lawyer was a movie. She just said Lincoln Lawyer was a good show on Netflix.
Yeah,
That's a recent one, but it's like something that inspired you. Like oh shit.
What made you want to become a
my
lawyer,
Uncle
actually?
Vinny,
My cousin Vinny.
my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, with Joe Pesci.
That's it.
Yeah.
What made you want to become a lawyer though?
So, you know, like most Afghan children, my mom presented me with 3 options. She says, you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer.
Oh.
And
That's good.
and then
You're like, I don't want to be a doctor and I'm not autistic. So lawyer is the option.
no, so actually my mom really wanted me to be a doctor. She's like, you should just try this first. So when I went to UC Irvine, I was a bio major for the first year, and I hated it so much.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I was like not getting all A's, and
man.
it was damaging to my psyche, because I was like, I thought I was smart, but I
You
just
didn't care for the content?
I didn't care for the content. It was very. You have to understand, like UC Irvine, like half my professors, I couldn't even understand what they were saying because they had like strong accents. Like, no offense, but
What accent?
it was a mixture of things. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to offend anybody, but like, listen, like my mom has an accent. I don't have a problem with people with accents, but like I can't understand you, and you're talking about something very complex.
Yes.
You're talking about chemistry, and I can't understand it. I just hated the subject matter, and like the type of students that were in those classes,
Yes.
not very social.
Yeah.
You can't. I couldn't really have conversations with people. Got it. So, anyways, I switched to poli-sci, and I was like, "Mom, I'm not going to be a doctor. I think I'm just going to go to law school."
Okay. And she was like, cool.
Yeah.
She's like, that's one of the ones on the list.
One on the list.
Yeah. So she was okay with it. She was still bummed out because she prioritizes doctors over lawyers.
I see.
But I still, at least I did not bring shame upon my family
Yeah.
with my
You're
career.
gonna become a
Yeah.
comedian or something. So you get that. So,
Yeah, but at least your job is way more fun, though.
I highly doubt it, but it's fun.
I think all jobs are the same. You know, if you're enjoying it, then it's what you make of it.
I don't think most people enjoy their
I don't
jobs.
enjoy my job.
You enjoy your job, bro. Come on.
I like everything that comes with it.
You make people feel good about themselves and forget about life.
So do sex workers.
Yeah, you're like a sex worker.
There we go. Yeah, you know what? Me and sex workers, yeah,
Same.
same.
Exactly.
It goes, in my family, it goes doctor, sex worker, lawyer, engineer. You know, so my parents are proud of me.
Doctor's still number one, though, right?
Oh, of course. No, if you're a doctor and a sex worker,
Yes.
woof.
California is the only place I feel like where doctor is not number one anymore.
What do you mean?
Because if you're like, I'm software engineer.
Yeah, it's probably less stressful and very good money.
I know, but like because of that, because of
yeah.
the boom, everybody's like, oh shit, that's the top job.
Yeah, but they're getting like price, like AI is taking over. Tech is not going to, I think we'll always need doctors and lawyers. Are you afraid of AI ever coming for law?
It can for probably transactional work, but I don't think it could ever take my job because you have certain constitutional rights that need to be protected, and I don't think there's a guarantee with like AI assisting like a defendant. There's going to be so many issues with that on appeal. It realistically just would not work, and I don't think the court system is as advanced as people think. Like we're very, very like it's very outdated. It's very traditional.
100%.
And so I just don't see that happening in trials.
Okay, so what about like a paralegal? Do you still need them?
Yeah, can that be outsourced to AI?
A lot of things can be, but like paralegals do a lot of filings and things like that. And again, the court system is very outdated.
Yeah.
And it's not digitized yet. So you need like an actual assistant to do the paperwork, file the paperwork. With my firm in particular, it's a lot less paralegal work and a lot more just doing intakes on phone calls and like calling different organizations, setting up appointments, things like that.
Right.
Yeah. And AI can't do that.
Yeah, you're right. You still need the human touch. It's still very relevant.
Yeah, because you're selling, right?
Yeah.
Like we're selling our services to people, and AI is just not gonna get someone to hand over a bunch of money.
Yes.
That makes sense.
We have, and this is kind of like off topic.
Yeah, go for it.
You know how like we have so many Afghan translators? If AI was a thing, would they be hired at that time?
Yeah, probably not.
No, because I feel like they also help with the culture and the customs.
Culture, head of
Like
culture.
you can also ask ChatGPT, like, hey, why is this guy trying to fight me after I stepped on his foot? You know, and they'd be like, yeah, you have to shake his hand if you step on his foot. And ChatGPT.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think there's always going to be that concern of like, is this the right information, right? Because even right now with ChatGPT,
It's still in its early stages.
yeah,
for sure.
and you have to be very careful because there was cases where lawyers went to ChatGPT to get certain case laws, and then they went to court and then they argued that case law, and then the court was like, that case law does not exist.
Oh no! Wow.
And then they found out that he used ChatGPT, and I think he like ended up paying a bunch of fines and fees to the state bar. Like he got in a lot of trouble.
Because you have to, after you say, give me your resources, or maybe you know what, he probably didn't pay for the upgrade, the premium version.
I think even if you pay, and you would still get that information, you just have to be very careful. And now, because of situations like that, there are actually like workshops and sessions that lawyers have to go to learn about AI and how to ethically use it.
Okay, and learning how to put proper prompts to get your like results. I feel like, do you think that's just practice?
They haven't taught us how to do that yet. It was more so like, this is what happened to this lawyer, so just be careful.
Got it.
Don't give it personal information. Don't give it your client's information. Like, you don't know how that stuff is going to get stored, all that.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
When you're doing like, do you do like jury selection and stuff?
Yes, I picked juries.
How do you decide a good like juror? Or
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most important part of a trial is like picking the 12 people that are gonna determine whether or not your client is guilty or not. And there's a whole industry of like jury consultants where we literally hire people who claim to have like certain abilities where they can like read people really well. It's so funny. Our last one was telling me that she can literally see like your auras. Like she could see the color that you have.
I trust her.
And
A
like
white woman.
she's
like she has tarot cards.
Yes, she does. She does tarot and all that stuff too.
She's like, this guy, he's
but
a jester. Don't pick him.
but no, she's actually legit because
What? Is she like a wizard?
listen, I can't explain these things, but
Dude, this is not giving me any faith in the law right now.
she picked one person on one of my firm's really, really big cases, and she picked one juror that hung the case. So, because you have to have a unanimous, okay? And so if you have one person that's like, no, I don't agree, then it's going to be a mistrial, okay? So you don't get the conviction on that particular charge. So she was right. Now, on my cases, the cases I've done like on my own, I have not had to hire a jury consultant.
Great.
Or like my client just couldn't afford to pay for it. So, I'm relying on myself, and the way you do it,
Science.
it's a process called
What is your astrological sign? Nope, no Geminis on my jury.
I'd be surprised if I could even like get that question out before the judge yelled at me. But it's a process called voir dire, and so what you do, voir dire.
Oh dear.
And so that's basically you're questioning the jury pool to determine who is going to be in the actual jury. And so, like, for instance, the last case that I had to do with like child abuse. And so one of the questions I asked was, are you going to take the testimony of a child and weigh it heavier than anybody else because they're a kid? And some people were like, yeah. I was like, all right, then you're out. Yeah. So it's things like that. You have to find the bias in these people.
I like this about jury, unless you have other questions.
I was going to have one more follow-up.
Sure.
How do I get out of jury duty?
Okay.
What's the easiest way?
Okay. So
What's the trick?
some people, just by virtue of what you do for a living, they'll kick you out. So like if you're a cop, you'll probably get kicked out. If you're a lawyer, you'll probably get kicked out. Although it's not a guarantee, because my coworker had to sit in on a civil case for like 6-7 weeks. So she was out of work for that long, and it was terrible. But really the main thing you want to communicate, honestly, like you don't want to lie, but if you say, I cannot be impartial, like I am biased, then they got to kick you out. You can also argue like financial hardship and like actual hardships.
No,
like if you have like 8 children and you're like, I don't have a nanny, I don't have a babysitter, I can't afford it. Like I physically can't even get here. I don't have a car. All these things, they'll probably kick you out.
how much you get paid to be in jury? It's like a stipend of some kind, right?
I think it's like $15.
1.5
A day?
$15.
I think it's per hour.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong though. I literally have never looked that up.
Okay.
But they do get paid, but it's like very minimal. I don't even think it like covers the parking in downtown San Diego.
Damn, son.
Yeah, I heard about that. Is it similar to like the Jerry Judy movie with Pauly Shore? Have you seen that?
Is that the Hulu one?
No, that was a show that just came out.
This is from the 90s.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Movie. We can move. Yeah, it's all right. Pauly Shore had his moment, right?
Yeah.
That's during that moment.
Yeah, that was during the moment. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a good time. I like where this conversation is going, but can we take a quick little break?
Yes.
Awesome. Hey guys, we'll be back.
Hey listeners, let's talk about elevating your wardrobe with some serious style.
Absolutely. If you're all about expressing yourself and supporting the movement to normalize cannabis, then you gotta check out the Urban Connoisseur. They've got an incredible lineup of apparel that's all about living life elevated.
We're talking heavyweight chenille skull hoodies, vibrant t-shirts with bold statements, and even some sleek accessories like snapback hats and comfy socks. And let's not forget those live life elevated gym shorts, perfect for the summertime.
And they got a deal for Awjiz listeners. They're offering an exclusive 20% off their entire shop. Just use the promo code Awjiz, AWJIZ, when you check out.
Dive into their collection of fashion-forward pieces that do more than just look good. They're about making a statement, breaking down barriers, and sparking conversations.
Sparking. I like that. Whether you're looking for something casual, like a gas emoji t-shirt, or something that stands out like THC logo crew socks, THC, the Urban Connoisseur, has got you covered.
Check out their full range and take your style to the next level at theurbanconnoisseur.com. And remember to use special promo code AWJIZ for 20% off your purchases.
And now,
Let's get back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back. And we're back with the Awjiz Boys. I'm doing that now. I want to do that sometimes.
Sometimes you do it.
Thank
I
you.
gotta go make
Why do you
editing.
sound different?
I do.
Who? Him? Yeah. He's back in his calm mode.
I'm
He
always.
does have a very radio voice though, doesn't he?
I think so.
What are you saying?
Mine is like nails on a chalkboard, I feel like.
No.
No.
It's like a gunshot. Much worse than that. No, no, it's perfectly fine. You have a great voice. We all have good voice. I like how nobody's complimenting my voice, but that's okay. You know? No? All right,
You-
cool.
you have-
Nope, it's too late now.
You
What's
have
the next?
stage presence voice.
Stage presence, voice.
That's
and I'm
amazing.
great at words too. All right, what
That's
do we got?
awesome. I wanted to just go off the conversation earlier about AI and just Afghan translators. If I'm an Afghan translator and I'm watching this, step one, turn this off. This is not for you.
I don't think there are Afghan translators anymore.
No, it's like they used to be an Afghan
Oh, it's kind of like
translator.
president. You're always a translator.
Of course, you're always a translator. Once a translator,
What's a translator? Always a
once
translator?
trans, always trans.
Hello, Mr. Translator. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Keep going.
A lot of them wear like a badge of honor, actually. A lot of them
That's
say
wild to
like, I did this. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I actually have no beef with them, really. It's just fun to say.
Yeah.
But as an Afghan translator, do I get any benefits? Like if I fuck up in America, like break the law, not crazy, would I get away with it because I helped the American government?
It depends. Now, there's this program called military diversion.
Okay.
And a lot of my military
That's when you
clients.
skip out and go to Canada?
No.
Divert from the military? No. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Damn it.
So I practice in San Diego, and obviously we have a military base here, so there's a lot of folks in the military here.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And even if you're not active member right now, but you're a veteran, it still applies to you. So if
Even the
you-
Coast Guard?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
They are real vets, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so, you know, if you are being charged with a misdemeanor, so a lot of them get DUIs. So it's like your first time DUI. If I petition the court and write a motion for military diversion, and it gets granted, the charge will get dismissed. So your conviction is going to be clean, and you're not.
Would
gonna
a
have to-
translator fit in that?
So they would not fit under this
They're
because
contractors, right?
they're independent contractors. So they're not really part of the actual military.
Got it.
But that does not mean that what they did couldn't be used to try to get them a better deal. Now, if they had a DUI, they're not going to be able to get it dismissed.
Yeah.
But I might be able to provide that as a mitigating factor to try to get a better outcome for them. But they're probably going to have to end up pleading to something if the evidence is pretty strong.
What happens to like refugees that come here and commit crimes? Do they get sent back, or they just go to jail, or what? Like,
That's a very, very good question. So in California, I can speak particularly on San Diego. I know that the DA's office, their position is very much like, we don't want to get people deported, but at the same time, if you're committing crimes, you have to be punished, right? And so
they
if
send them to Mexico. Can you imagine an Afghan? That's your punishment. Sorry, go ahead.
So if you're not a U.S. citizen and your status is at risk and you're at jeopardy of being deported, you are more likely to get a better outcome on your case because, again, the DA's position is to try to avoid the deportation process. So you're still going to be charged, arrested, all that stuff. But if you hire a good criminal defense attorney, or even if you have a public defender, they're going to ask about what your immigration status is, and that's going to alert them to, not plead to something that could get you deported.
Got it.
Because you can get deported. I have a lot of, Mexican clients who are, they have no status in this country. And we typically have to hire an immigration attorney to write an immigration letter talking about what their status is to try to get the prosecutor to give us the deal that we want that's immigration friendly. So yeah, if you're a refugee and you, let's say, commit like a very serious crime, you are at risk of getting deported.
That's interesting.
Getting sent back to Afghanistan.
What if you did like a line of coke?
It's mostly drug offenses, though, right? Or you say DUIs and stuff like that. For a lot of these, like that's probably most common crimes, I'm assuming.
I would say it's more like domestic violence and like sexual assaults is what I've.
That sucks. That that's
Sorry.
the most common.
Wait, in the refugee community, or just like
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah,
Hey
bro.
man.
There's
Hey,
some
stop.
There's some fraud stuff too.
Okay, yeah.
That's on brand.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna,
that checks out.
I'm not gonna get into like the details because I want to be careful, but like taking certain tests for certain people and profiting.
My
off of that.
family is guilty as fuck. Okay.
So-
I mean, no, they're not. They didn't do anything.
Yes.
So that stuff, or like again, domestic violence, sexual assault. I've seen those. DUIs. That's the type of case where like we can get a better outcome, and you're not going to end up pleading to a DUI because no one wants to deport someone because of a DUI. Like that sounds kind of crazy, and the DA I think knows that, so they're willing to provide an alternative offer to protect that person from having to be deported.
You have to get interlock thingies in your car now for a DUI?
It depends.
You have to, like, blow?
Depends. If it's like, because actually I just had a
A
client
DUI? Oh, sorry.
install an ignition interlock device. So, if it's your first time DUI, the court's not going to order that you have to get one. If the BAC was really high and there was an accident, it was like very serious, then maybe the court might order it, or you might even offer that as like a mitigant to try to get a better outcome.
Sorry, what's a BAC?
blood alcohol content.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
the
know that.
legal limit in
Yes.
California is 0.08. So
Oh,
if you're at a 0.08 or higher,
yes.
you will be charged with a DUI.
I don't know if people know this. Have we talked about this on the pod?
Tell me.
I got a DUI.
You did?
Did I not mention this ever?
Where?
In the Bay Area.
Okay.
I
Have
was-
you gotten it expunged?
It was over 10 years ago. So doesn't it just like disappear?
No. You should run a criminal background check. It should pop up still.
How do I get my mugshot? I want my mugshot, and it's so hard to get. I'm trying. It's like I keep Googling it. It gives me different answers. Is there a place I can just go and buy my mugshot back?
No. I mean
Good.
it would be
Yeah,
the law
great.
enforcement agency that arrested you. They
Yeah.
would have that record.
Okay.
So you would have to get it from them, but I don't think they would give that to you. But you could try. Honestly,
I want my comedy album to be my mugshot, like a rapper.
I love it.
Right?
That's a great concept.
Yeah.
Do you look different?
Yeah, I look way different. I didn't have a beard. I had long hair.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you look better?
No.
I mean,
Is that-
since you're like an entrepreneur, like you don't work for like another company, like
Yeah.
you technically don't need to get it expunged because it's you would only.
Yeah, I
do
could
it
get
if
into
you-
Canada. I got into Canada easily, so that wasn't a problem.
Yeah, and Canada takes DUIs very seriously.
Yeah.
do,
If it's
yeah.
within 10 years, you can't even get into Canada.
Yeah.
But after 10 years, I was 19. I hit a house. Yeah. I was
wow.
very drunk.
Oh my
I was naked. Did I ever tell the story on the
Wait,
pod?
you were naked while driving?
Have I never told this?
I think you didn't tell me all the details. You told me some of it.
All right.
I think it's a lost episode, by the way.
Okay,
Go
I'll
ahead.
tell the story. I'm,
Let's
I'm
hear it.
comfortable. Do you mind hearing?
No, I want to hear it.
Here we go. Yeah,
Okay.
let's see what.
Got to try.
Yeah,
We're
see
ready.
if you can get me off the case. Whatever.
We'll get you off.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I was 19, like going on 18, 19, and I had just had sex in my car.
Well done.
Yes, and I was taking this girl home.
Was the car a bang bus?
No, it was a scooter bus.
Oh, that's okay.
So a big scooter is what I don't know.
It's okay.
But whatever. It was a Scion TC. It was a salvage title.
Okay.
I bought it from my uncle.
Got
and
it.
it would turn off randomly. That's just something that it did.
Salvage title as an Afghan, very on brand.
It was a nice car. I bought it for like $8,000, so everybody thought it was like $40,000
So
car.
rebuilt.
Exactly. So the car would just turn off randomly, just something that it did. But it was stick, so all you do is you pop the clutch, and then it would just turn back on. This is critical to the story.
Yes.
So I'm drunk. I had just had sex. I was taking this girl home to her house. So I'm still naked. I was letting the boys air out. You know,
Okay.
you got to do it. Windows down.
Confidence is amazing, by the way.
Oh, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm taking her home, and she lives in a gated community, by the way. So I pulled up to the gate,
Naked still?
naked still,
Yes.
and I'm talking to this gate guy. I don't know what I say to him. He lets me in.
Okay.
That's very surprising.
Good.
I go in. We're going pretty fast. Car turns off in the middle of a turn, and I'm trying to pop the clutch, but we're stuck. The steering wheel's stuck. I hit the curb, go into the curb, into someone's like backyard, into their house. And I'm like, oh shit, this is terrifying.
Yes.
All right, I put on my boxers.
I understand why you have anxiety now.
Yeah. I put on my boxers. I'm like, all right. I look at the girl. I'm like, babe, are you alive? She's like, that's all I needed. A sound is good enough. I put it in reverse.
Oh, that's
I
wild.
jump off the curve. I smash off, and I drive like 100 miles an hour. And I'm like, they'll fucking never take me alive. My door falls off. And the sirens, I see them behind me. They're getting louder and louder and closer and closer. I'm like, oh, they're catching up to me. I was so drunk, I didn't realize when I hit the curb in the house, all my tires were flat and like broken, and the rims were broken. So I was going 1 mile an hour, like just hobbling along.
Oh, no.
So the cop just walks up to me.
Is that how bad your car was that you couldn't tell the difference?
I was wasted.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to get away, but I was going 1 mile an hour. The cop just like walks up to the doors, like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "You'll never take me alive." He's like, "Get out of the car."
Yeah.
Get out of the car, David. He knew I was. I had to get in trouble a week prior with them too.
Oh, shit.
So, and then my blood alcohol level was 0.18.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's not even that high. But
Yeah.
that was like after the end. Like I refused to take it on the spot.
Oh.
And then I did the blood at the station.
Did they have to get a warrant?
No, they just convinced me.
Oh, okay, because if you refuse, it would have been an automatic 1 year suspension on your
No, I
license.
think it was like, you know what I did? I didn't refuse the breath. I refused the walking.
Oh,
and
that's good. You
that
should
stuff.
refuse that.
I
You should
refused
refuse
all
that.
the, what do they call this? The
Field sobriety test.
I
and
refused
pass
that.
test.
Sorry, but then I blew into it, and then I went. They took my blood. Blood or blow again? Do you know what's better? Because they kept telling me, it's like, cop, you arrested me before. We're homies.
It depends. So let's say you drank very recently.
Yeah.
So your BAC has not elevated yet,
Okay.
right? You want to blow faster, right? So you would take the breath test because theoretically it's going to get higher later. So by the time they get a phlebotomist there to draw your blood, your BAC is probably higher at that point. Versus if you drank earlier and you want more time, you want to buy more time, you kind of want to, annoy them, not annoy them, be nice and stuff like that. But like if you could prolong the process, it's going to help the number.
Yeah, I had one of my uncles.
Yeah.
He got pulled over and he didn't want to do the test or whatever. And then he went there and he asked to go to the bathroom and they drank hella water and he waited it out and then he blew and he passed.
So those are really nice cops because typically they won't let you do that. They'll be like, you're going to do it first and then you're going to go use the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Nice.
I had a case where
we're telling you our cases.
Yeah, we're telling you our cases, so you can tell us. It's actually, I had like a shot. It wasn't crazy. I had a shot and a little bit of wine, so I was good to drive.
I was wasted.
But based on my driver license at the time, it's supposed to be 0. Canadian law is a little different. When I
was 19, so technically
it's zero tolerance.
Yeah,
policy.
0
also
tolerance.
0.
Oh, yours also 0.
When you're under 21, you can't have anything in your system.
Exactly, and you can't refuse a PAS test when you're under 21.
You can't refuse the test?
The PAS is the preliminary alcohol screening test. It's the little device they have on them at the scene. If you're under 21, you can't refuse that. If you're over 21, you can refuse that.
Got it. Okay. So what I did was, because I was actually a designated driver, but they all forced me to take one shot at this place. So everybody in the car is more drunk than I am. Actually, they're all drunk. Don't worry about this. But I'm in my 20s. Let's say
okay.
I'm in my 20s. Okay.
You're of legal age.
Oh yeah, I'm legal age. I'm driving and stuff like that. I got my license later also. So anyways, I'm driving these people home, and in the back are like 3 of my boys and one of my friends, female friend. Cool. But everybody's lit in the car, and I'm just going to my stops. But I get pulled over by like one of those roadblocks or whatever. So
those are not legal anymore, right?
Checkpoints?
Yeah.
No, they could do checkpoints.
What? They still do checkpoints?
Yeah, they still do.
I thought those were like unconstitutional or something.
No.
Checkpoints are legal.
What?
Well, especially in Canada, they're everywhere.
That is insane.
Yeah, they have them in San Diego.
Wow, I've gotten through every single time. Okay. Wasted as fuck.
Good. Well, what happened was I knew I had some alcohol in me, and I was trying to finesse with the cop to protect myself, and I was trying to make it seem like my female friend and I just made out, and she's drunk. So is that going to affect the test?
I would know you're lying because that's a very complex story.
Stupid thing to say.
Here's the thing.
No, I've had.
Here's the thing. The cop that I talked to looked like an inexperienced cop and a young cop. And I'm just like, I can outwit this guy. I'm not even drunk.
Yeah.
So I said that to him, and then he's like, wait a minute, that could affect it. Actually, let me go ask. Then he goes back and asks this guy, and I'm just like chilling at the time. And he's like, you still have to blow on this breathalyzer. So I'm like, all right, whatever. At least he's like, but if something comes up, we'll try to see if we can do something about it.
Do anything.
So anyways, I go up there, I blow the breathalyzer test. It was 0. And I was like, wow. But I was fasting all day. So I was fasting all day, and I had a shot and this, which should make me more drunk. But it didn't make me drunk, and I blew 0 on that.
That's great.
That's good.
Do you, at these checkpoints, they can't force you to do breathalyzers though, right? They have to have some sort of suspicion. Or how does the checkpoints work? Do you know?
The checkpoints is like if they believe that you are under the influence, they can detain you at that point.
Gotcha.
And they can do their investigations, which is essentially they can ask you questions like, hey, did you have something to drink? Did you eat something? When was the last time you slept? Like these basic questions.
Could you call for racism? Like, hey, this is racism that you're stopping?
You could always call racism. I don't know if that, but they're stopping every car.
No, but if they're stopping you, they're like, we think you're high, and you're like, no, I'm Asian.
No comment.
Thank you. All right. So if they're stopping you, what are they allowed to stop you for?
So let's say you get to the checkpoint and they can smell the alcohol because you had like hard liquor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they do that. They come really, right?
And so
I
that
don't open my window.
that gives them reasonable suspicion that maybe there's something here.
Yeah.
So that's enough for them to like ask you questions and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And this is why you don't want to answer questions ever. Like, you don't want to say anything.
What do you say? How do you? I know you're supposed to say you don't want to answer questions. How do you tell the cop that you don't want to answer questions?
Yeah, like that's scary.
like,
Cause
You look more sus.
You look so much more
You
sus.
would look more suspicious, but
Yeah.
here's the thing: if you know you haven't had any alcohol,
No.
then it's fine.
What if
right?
you know you have
if
had
you
alcohol?
know you have,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're worried about.
that's when you're like, okay, everything I say is going to come up in the police report.
Okay.
So, would you rather come off as rude, or would you rather be saying something that's going to get rid of a defense that I can argue?
Wow. So what's the minimum
bring
shit
up,
that I can say that I'm supposed to say?
I think you just bring up like CIA secrets, and they're like, all right, we don't want this on the
no,
record.
bring the Bible. Can we have a good word of the Lord and just read chapters?
Yeah, what's a good way? What is the sentence I say to a cop when I'm pulled over?
You could say something.
I'm
along
a
the
sovereign
lines-
citizen, or
No.
I'm an Uber lawyer.
Understand that by saying this, if you don't say it the right way and they get offended, just know that they might mess with you more. But
the
I mean,
N-word.
for me, like, if I was in that situation, I would just say, I'm not comfortable in answering any questions.
Okay.
You know, just let me know what you need me to do. I want to cooperate. You know, if you can make that sound good and like you're not trying to be disrespectful.
For sure.
Do you
that's
throw in a
fine.
bitch in there?
A what?
The word bitch?
Oh, no, I would never.
Hey, I'm not
ask.
trying to cooperate, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not what. I am going to cooperate with you, bitch, but I don't want to answer any questions. Slut.
What if you don't say bitch or slut, but you hold your gun sideways to them as you say it in the nicest way
I
possible?
don't think you could point a gun at somebody, right?
I think you would be shot.
What if it's a cop?
I don't think.
What if you're not black?
Sorry.
No, you're good. That's all good. I like how it's like a genuine question. But like, what do you think?
And I pull out my gun. Would they shoot me?
They would have already shot you.
What about those like second right auditors? You know what I'm talking about? Those like second right amendment auditors or whatever who like walk around with their guns
I mean,
in like public places.
they have to make sure that everything they're doing is legal. Like, they have to have their permit and all that.
Damn. Okay. So we can't do much then. And I don't know if I feel comfortable saying that, because if I say I want to cooperate, but I don't want to answer any
I
questions.
honestly, it's a beautiful thing you said. I would never say that to him.
Yeah, I would. I feel more.
You gotta, okay, but here's the
I would be. Here's my driver. Like, you been drinking tonight? Like, I don't want to talk, sir. That's the worst. No, I can't.
I would just say no.
Yeah, I would just lie. What? Can we lie?
if you lie and then you end up doing the test and there's alcohol in your system,
Yep.
then the prosecutor might be less sympathetic to giving you a good deal.
Interesting.
What? Shit. What if?
But if you lie, it could throw off their suspicion, right? Because if you say you had one drink,
Yes.
which is like the lie that everybody does, they can still test you.
Once you admit that you've drank,
Yeah.
they're doing the whole test on you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Don't admit that you drink,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
What if every time you go out and you're clubbing and you're drunk, you just bring your pajamas? So you change real quick and you get in your car and you can say, I would just really quickly going to pick up a friend and dropping them off. So you look non-threatening.
As long as you don't smell like hard liquor.
Okay. It's a smell.
And also you don't have like the glassy eyes. Because that's the stuff that they look at.
Can they?
Interesting.
Can they
Okay.
still be like your car smells like marijuana and like search
Oh
it?
yeah.
Really,
Oh yeah.
dude? The nose test is like fuck then, because they have.
They'll get dogs to come and smell it, and you don't even smell anything, but the dog smells it, so we're gonna search.
Fuck the dogs. Yeah, the dogs would smell. Because, like, I think most people can't, snore at night. So they probably have not the greatest sense of smell, especially as
Sleep
they
apnea,
age.
you mean?
Sleep apnea is like the worst, right?
Yeah.
I just mean like basic snoring.
Yeah.
Like you can breathe through one nostril instead of the other clearly. So why are cops such amazing smellers? Why are they? The pig thing actually is kind of funny.
They're probably like full of shit half the time.
Yeah, they could be, because you have to understand, like, everything is like, they have a camera,
Yeah.
the body worn camera, right?
Yeah.
You can't see a scent, right? So they
Exactly.
can say they smell something.
So
I
how
can't
is that
argue against
admissible
that.
though? Oh, really? You can't argue against?
No, because
their-
I mean, I'm looking at the video. They're going to listen to what the cop says, right? The prosecutor is
see.
going to take whatever the cop says as fact.
Okay.
Okay.
That's just the way it works, right?
Can you
now-
ask for their history, like how many times they've been right in the past, or how many cases they've
You
charged?
can't use the cops like. You can't use their past.
You can use their past if you think that they've had like some sort of if there's like you know, if they have a violation, I'm like blanking on the type of motion, but like you can, if you believe that the cop was like being racist, or you believe the cop was being unethical and like specifically targeting you, and you believe that they've done something like that in the past before, there's a particular type of motion that you can file to go and review that cop's records. And they'll give you like the names of prior victims, and then you can go reach out to them and use them as witnesses in your defense.
And you just look, and there's just a whole bunch of Indonesian people.
And I did that one time.
Just hates Indonesians.
You
know what I'm saying?
I did that for a client one time because he was like convinced. He was like, they're after me, they're this or this. And I was like, okay, fine. File the motion. The motion got granted. They looked into the guy's record, nothing clean.
Damn.
Wow. They should have done it with that Sandra Bland case. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
That black chick who, like, it said she committed suicide.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was a little while back.
Yeah, she was driving and a cop pulled her over because said you pulled really fast to the side. But the reason she pulled fast to the side is because the cop was speeding and she was nervous, so she moved to the side. And then she was just not really cooperating. And then I guess there was a clip that went viral of like the cop, I think, pulling her out and like kind of beating her or whatever or something like that. And then when they checked that cop's record, he was giving out like tickets at like 10x or 8x versus his peers. But they never used that until Malcolm Gladwell did a deep dive on him on Talking to Strangers. I don't know if you know anything about that case.
No, I don't. But they weren't able to use it in the trial?
I don't know the details of that, but he got away and...
Oh, wow.
And she committed suicide also. So then we never heard her side of the story.
Oh.
So she killed herself while she was in the holding cell, I think, with using her shoestrings.
On a lighter note, are there any I don't know how to make that funny, dude. Is there any weird laws that you're aware of?
Any weird laws?
Any laws that like stand out to you? Like, what the fuck? Why is this a thing?
If there's like 5 Native Americans together, are you allowed to attack them?
No.
Okay, so they changed that.
They did.
Okay.
Yes.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, he's making it up.
No, I'm not making it up.
Wait, that's the thing?
Yeah, there was like a law in the States.
What about like marrying cousins? Is that legal?
Yeah, it's legal.
In Utah or everywhere?
Everywhere. In California?
Yeah, it's legal in everywhere.
First cousin?
Yeah.
Sister?
No.
Okay. Right.
That's incest.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's
why is there a law behind that? I know it's like,
well, there should be a law for it.
But why are people trying to marry their sisters?
Do you know what happens? Like what's the punishment for something like that? Well, I don't know. It's not like I care. I'm just curious.
As a guy who has sisters.
No, I have no sisters.
I've never dealt with that.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even think the DA would prosecute something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Be like, oh, okay. They'd be like, all right, it'll be dismissed or something?
No. Well, how would you even, if it's consensual on both parties, how is this like?
Well, someone has to report you, right? I think.
Yeah, maybe like your mom or something. They're never leaving the fucking house, these two.
Mom is the odd mom, stop cock blocking.
Yeah.
I think the only time they would actually charge something like that is if there was like no consent.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's consensual, that's
consent that's a separate issue.
Incest is one thing, and sexual assault.
Because I know that there's people in this country who,
That's okay. You mean Trump supporters?
Oh,
snap!
Oh, sorry.
Political podcast, dude.
But there's people who engage in those types of activities and they're not facing any prosecution. I think if they were trying to like reproduce, that might like raise some eyebrows.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't think.
What about like animal rights? Do they have any right? Like if you hit a dog with your car,
yeah.
What happens to that? What happens then?
You will be prosecuted for.
Really? You can't kill a dog?
No.
Damn. You can't kill a dog.
You can be charged for animal abuse. Absolutely. I had a case.
Really?
Where it was animal abuse, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You can't kill a dog? I wanted to kill a dog all weekend.
Yeah. my roommate's dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
But his roommate's Asian, so he did it himself.
Okay, all right. What's up with all these Asian jokes today, dude? Okay.
I have Asian friends. That's all we do.
Oh, that makes it okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so no weird laws that stand out to you? Anything like
There's definitely weird laws. I think I'm just drawing a blank.
Okay.
I think there was like one, and do not quote me on this. But this was like many years ago. I was like reading a book and it was like, there's apparently a law. I don't know if it's here, but like if 2 men are like we're gonna fight,
Oh, I know this law.
like a stand, like we're gonna fight,
Yeah.
like they can't be prosecuted.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's like
that's
mutual
not in-
mutual combat or something.
Mutual combat's not in California though.
It's not here
It's in Washington.
because I have way too many assault cases.
Yeah.
But in certain
soft.
places, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know about mutual combat because there was a superhero in Seattle, and he would just challenge people to fight. He's like, if they were committing a crime,
You mean like Blank Man?
his name was Phoenix Jones.
Okay.
Yeah,
The vigilante
He's a
type
vigilante.
of guy.
Yeah, he was an MMA fighter.
Oh, shit.
Who
Okay.
became a vigilante, and he would just like go to like where people are getting like the equivalent of like 6th Street or
Sure,
like
sure.
11th Street or like the gas lamp area here.
Right.
And just kind of like patrol, and if he's all like drunk idiots like picking on people, he would like mutual combat and then be like, yeah, and then just beat the shit out of them.
I think they made a movie about something like that.
You're talking about
Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass, there
Kick-Ass,
you
I think
go.
it's based off this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
but didn't he have powers of some kind?
No.
No, he had.
I thought his bones were like super.
No, he got hit by a car, so his sensitivity was a little off, so he couldn't endure more pain.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, I'm a movie nerd. So
Yeah,
that's my-
any.
I forgot about
bring
the
up-
plot of that movie.
Yeah, that's
probably
it's
not as-
great. It's not
But yeah,
great.
mutual. I think that's a weird.
Mutual
law.
combat
Like,
is awesome. I think that's a good law though.
yeah, no, I think if you're consenting, like, why is it different when you're in a ring
Yeah.
and you can, and then you're outside?
But
the
what
ring?
if I'm beating
what
somebody
about-
up to consent? Please consent to this. Please consent to this. I will hit you harder if you don't consent. And then
No, that's not
duress.
control. Yeah,
But the
that's not
moment
real
he
consent.
consents, that's when I record it. I'd be like, that's the only memory I have of this, and I'm alone with this.
It's not
person.
real consent though.
Yeah, but they don't. Like
Well, yeah,
what,
you
it's what I can prove.
He's gonna say I was under duress.
Yeah,
I can say that. Do
You
have
might
any
win the case,
Do you have
but
any
yeah.
evidence of that?
you still might win the case.
Okay.
But no, fuck. I was gonna say something else.
Sorry, if I was dating that person, that's okay then, right?
That makes it okay.
Okay.
Fuck. What was gonna? There's another question.
I'm so sorry. Is it law related?
It is law related.
Okay.
Mutual combat. There's another law that I wanted to. Why is porn legal, but then not other sex work?
That's a really good question. Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
listen. I had this conversation with a client of mine who was charged with solicitation,
Yeah.
and I was like, if you had just had a camera in that room
Yeah.
and it was recording,
Yes.
you would have been fine.
So like Hunter Biden.
He actually went to jail.
Oh, he did?
I don't think it was for sex work though. I think it was for
No. What if because he was filming himself having sex with prostitutes.
yeah.
He's just like, I was just making a porno. It just never came out because of
Well,
artistic
it came
direction.
out. We all saw it.
I didn't see it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
But I will say, like, okay, so in California, what I've noticed now is they don't go after the women, like, at all.
Just the men?
They always
Well,
go
this
for the
doesn't seem-
Johns.
What
And
kind of
so-
matriarchal society are we
but-
living in?
Probably because of revenge porn stuff, right?
But I will say though
What about
that
revenge
like,
porn stuff?
Anyways, I'll let her continue.
well, it's because it's perpetuating an industry that harms people and promotes human trafficking.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like, don't do it. But like, if you're in Vegas, then it's okay. Like, it's a little, it's unfair,
Well,
right?
actually,
It's
Nevada,
unfair.
Not Vegas specifically.
Nevada, you're right.
Nevada.
Sorry.
Okay, good call. Well, yeah, Vegas is the place that people go to.
But
Yeah, you can't do it in Vegas.
You can't do it
The
specifically.
city of Vegas, I think sex work is illegal. I'm pretty sure.
That makes no sense.
I don't fuck on.
Sin City,
Yeah,
not really.
But it's not
like the
city.
Bunny Ranch and all that stuff.
I see.
Like the places they're outside of Las Vegas. Like Reno, I think you can. Probably.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, good to know.
So
Our audience now you know.
San Diego in particular,
Yes.
they love to do undercover sting operations to get the Johns.
Oh, yeah?
Because I literally one time there was this 1 month
The Johns
where
is so
back
funny.
to back to back, this
Same client.
no, not the same clients, but
Poor guy.
but my clients were getting the same area.
Yes.
They were getting caught because these undercover cops that were like, do you want a blowjob? And they're like, yes.
How hot are these cops?
I know, right?
Yeah.
My client made it seem like they looked like Abercrombie models.
Oh, shit.
So
That's
he
how
was
you
like,
know they're not
he was- and,
sex
and,
workers.
and all my clients were married, except one who was like,
Loser.
he was just like a college student, and I think he was like lonely.
So then when the ones that are married, you feel sorry for them probably, right?
I feel sorry for all of them because when they come and like talk to me,
I
they're
mean, what-
really
okay.
ashamed and
That's
they're
a shameful
sad.
thing.
And
What is the punishment for something like that?
so typically, they want them to do like this sex trafficking / prostitution class that's on a Saturday that costs $600.
God damn.
So they do that, and they sometimes have them do like trash pickup, like on the side of the road. And they typically want them to plead to like some misdemeanor. They will dismiss the solicitation charge because it looks really bad on their record, but they'll do something.
Is that like would that put you on that list you were talking about, the pedophile list?
No.
Okay.
No.
What is that list called?
The sex offender.
Sex
registry?
offender. Yeah. So hiring a sex worker does not put you on that
hopefully
list?
not.
No.
Right,
okay.
right, Dauood? Hopefully not.
Hopefully
Before I'm sure, before the laws changed and stuff, because the sex registry list used to be permanent. Like once you're on it, you're on there for
Oh,
life.
it's not permanent anymore?
No, they recently changed the law where it's now a tier system.
There's a tier system?
There's a tier system. So there's a tier 1, there's a tier 2, and
like
there's
a
a tier
Patreon?
3.
What tier is Drake?
What did he do?
He's been accused of being
A-liner.
a pedophile by Kendrick in his
How-
popular song.
How old was the person?
Oh, that depends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Mally Bobby Brown.
If it was
Pedophiles.
if it was 14 and up, you could probably get off the list.
Oh,
If
really?
it's
Under
below,
14, then it's like
maybe no.
life.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have a question for this, which is, sorry for this being fucked up. I have to apologize. But it's like, what about younger girls that just lie about their age, and a guy's like actually doesn't want to do, like, let's say a guy's like
Okay,
20.
all right,
The guy's
doesn't want
20,
to.
so it's not like crazy difference, you know? But a girl could, let's say legal age of consent is 18. Is that what that
In
is?
California. Yeah.
Okay, let's say the girl's 17 and she says I'm 18 and the guy's 20. So he thinks, oh, this is cool. And then something happens, and then maybe she has malicious intent and tells everyone this happened, and this guy's prosecuted. How do you protect yourself as a guy? Do you be like, let me check your ID kind of shit? Like,
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, what
Really?
if they have a,
Yeah.
no,
They're
my-
going to say, yeah, you should have done that.
Yeah, what if they have a
What?
fake ID, though? Is what I'm saying. Because if they're in the bar or something, like a younger person is in there.
and well, yeah, the guy's drunk. That's a good point too.
No, I'm like, there's nothing malicious. She just hooked up with a guy that his parents found out, whatever. But it's like,
Statutory.
it's statutory.
Yes.
Always.
Well,
Was there, like, how do you fight that?
Yeah,
I don't
so-
think it's a very common thing that happens.
it's not. It's not.
But I'm just curiosity. This is where we're spitballing here.
The law is written a certain way.
Yeah.
The way it's actually implemented is different. Okay. So let's say it was a situation where it wasn't consensual, and that would be a time where they would probably prosecute
Of course,
it.
consensual.
But
That
like,
makes
I don't
sense.
think the DA cares that like a 20-year-old had sex with like a 17-year-old unless someone's making a big deal about it.
I see.
Because if she comes out and says, no, I didn't consent,
Yeah.
it was forced, then you're in trouble.
Now another.
And it doesn't matter if she's lying.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going to be in trouble.
For sure. Yeah, okay, we're sticking to the sex crime stuff. Here
We
go.
are, we are.
SVU, baby. Can a drunk person consent?
If you're inebriated, you're not able to consent.
Okay, so if two people are drunk and they have sex with each other, that's technically criminal. It can be. One person can technically prosecute the other person.
You would have to have some sort of intent of wanting to like rape.
Okay.
So like if the person believes that there was consent, then no.
I see. Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is wild.
So that's a defense, right? Like if
Yeah.
I have a client and the victim is accusing my client of him raping her, but he tells me I thought it was consensual, I thought she wanted, that's a defense.
Okay. Do we ask more wilder questions, or do we move on?
And that just gets
Move
proved
on.
in,
Okay.
in a jury
This is getting
trial.
a little too.
Got it.
Too heavy.
But thank you for answering these
Yeah,
questions.
appreciate
These
it.
are
Yeah.
great. I have a different topic, which actually affects our community, which is domestic violence. You know,
Yes.
a lot of women are victims. Some men are victims, but mostly it's women. We learned that.
Yeah, it's underreported for men though.
It's underreported for men. Yes, thank you, Dauood, for correcting. What can women do to like seek help? Because one, it's like, let's say I have kids with this person. This person is the main source of income. What am I supposed to do? I can't just be like, get this guy out of my house. And I'm like, now I have to fiend for these kids. I have to pay. I don't have any skills. Or let's say I'm a woman that came from Afghanistan. My English is not that great. I just have to take this abuse. What advice do you have for these type of women that are victims?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's something that impacts our community. I would say there are resources out there. It depends on where you live.
Sure.
Okay, so some communities might have better resources.
Let's say
than
California.
others. Yeah, so California, I think, generally has a lot of those types of resources.
Okay.
But you know, if you can't speak the language well, then how do you get to that resource?
Yeah.
So I think just having friends that can help you, if you can open up to somebody that you trust. Because I recently had a situation where somebody that I went to school with many years ago messaged me and it's like, hey, I know this one woman. She doesn't speak English. She's in an abusive relationship. She has children. Like, she wants to get a divorce, but she doesn't know where to go, what to do. Like, can you help her? And I said, you know, the best thing that she can do is go talk to a family law attorney.
Got it.
And the reason why is because depending on their marriage status and all that stuff, the family law attorney can get money for that woman that's being abused to be able to take care of herself and her children and have a place to live, and they'll get it from the man.
I feel like most Afghans that are married in the States don't have any, like, a marriage certificate or any of that stuff, right? I feel like it's all kind of, they do it in the car and that's...
Yeah, sometimes they just do it in the car, right?
Would that hold up? Is that like...
So...
Does that hold up in court at all? In the form of marriage?
It can, and I think a family law attorney would be a really good person to talk to about this. Okay. I think a judge would definitely consider that. I think there's also common law marriage where if you've been together for a very long time, they might just disregard the fact that there is no marriage certificate.
Okay.
So there's definitely things that can be done, especially if there's children involved.
Yeah.
But a family law attorney would be like the first thing I would suggest speaking to. And if you have to do it, you know, secretly so that, you know, the abusive partner does not find out. Obviously, that's very difficult, especially if you don't have access to transportation and things like that.
Yeah.
But that would be the first thing to do. Now, if you want to, you know, call the cops, understand that very likely they will arrest the person. And bail is very expensive. So if they don't want their partner to be in jail, just be aware that if you call the police, that will happen.
Got it.
And
even if, like, you change your mind when the cops show up, kind of thing?
It doesn't matter. They'll still take, especially if he's still there and she claims that there was anything physical, it could literally be the most slight touch. They'll take him.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's up to the prosecuting agency if they want to prosecute. They're going to look at the police report, and based on that, they're going to file charges, and they don't care if you don't want to file charges against your partner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they will still do it.
How long will they keep them in jail?
So it depends on when you go in. If you go in on a Friday
the weekend.
and you don't bail out, you're stuck because you're not going to get arraigned on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Bail is expensive, right?
In California,
Wait,
it's $50,000, so you're paying 10% of that if you're getting a bail bondsman.
I thought California, maybe this is San Francisco, got rid of bail.
It's LA. And I think Sacramento,
but
San
San
Francisco.
Diego still has...
San Diego still has bail. Certain
How
things.
do you feel about bail? I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a tangent, but
no, please.
How do you feel about bail? Do you feel it is something good to keep people in, or it shouldn't exist?
I think it's complicated. I can do pros and cons. I do think in situations where, like,
someone's a flight risk,
two people do the same exact thing, but one person just doesn't have the money and has to stay in jail versus the other one gets to walk out. That's inherently, I think, unfair. But there's certain case laws now that you have to argue inability to pay, and like if someone cannot pay, then it cannot be used against them. So there's certain case laws and things like that you can argue, but until you get in front of a judge, you're probably still stuck in jail.
Okay.
You know, that's the issue. A lot of these domestic violence arrests, though, I will say, they don't end up actually filing charges. So when that determination is made, they would just be released. But it's like, how long do you want to spend in jail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people would be like, get me out of here as soon as possible. And it's going to be, okay, go get a bail bondsman, because most people don't have 50 grand lying around.
For sure. But it's only when 10%. A guy abuses a woman. But if
no, women get arrested too.
Women right away.
Whoever calls and complains to the
they're treated the exact same.
I've literally had a case.
I'm sure they're not treated exactly the same way.
I literally have a case where a woman, there was a couple that were arguing.
Yes.
Okay, and they didn't even call the cops.
Sure.
Somebody that was watching them called the cops, and the cops showed up, separated the couple, Talk to the man. The man's like, listen, nothing's going on. We're fine. Like, we don't need any help. Talk to the woman. The woman's like, yeah, I slapped him. He was doing this. He was doing this. And then they arrested her.
Okay. I see. What if
Goddamn Sharia.
I don't like my partner, all right? And I'm like, I want this woman to go to jail tonight.
What are these hypotheticals you keep doing?
But hear me out, all right? And then I call the cops and I'm like, officer, I've been hit. Please come here or whatever. And then I just start punching myself. And then I'm like, officer, you see this? This was my
Yeah, how do they approve? How
at that moment when they get there.
It's their discretion.
It's always a discretion.
It's their discretion. And this might be a good question for my younger sister because she deals with these a lot.
I see.
And
Your younger sister's a cop?
my younger sister's a cop, and she tells me, and
You
it's
guys
like
hate each other, right?
yeah, and she's like,
Oh, you hated your defense.
yeah,
Oh, God. Okay.
she tells me, she's like, I have to. If I don't, and something happens, we're gonna get in trouble. So there's like a state. No, yes.
Okay.
No, yes.
Okay. I feel interested. An Afghan woman cop.
She's very muscular.
Damn.
Wow.
Afghan woman cop that's the most terrifying thing.
Well,
Because Afghan women are the best detectives
That's
already.
her right there. I have a picture of her.
Oh, it's her?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
She looks very cute and
Yeah,
feminine,
she
but
looks terrifying.
she's
I'm
got.
saying,
she's got
Afghan women are already the best detectives.
Yes.
So like, imagine. her
And
as a
they're
cop.
Jangara.
And they're aggressive.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Exactly.
I'm sure your sister's not either of those things, but
No comment. She's a lawyer. She knows what to say.
yeah.
Okay, so if I punch myself in the face, there's potential chance that my partner could go to jail.
Yeah.
If it looks real enough, or they believe that.
Yeah,
believe
but
that
then
story.
eventually, if you're caught doing something like that, then you may deal with.
But then I could go to
repercussions.
Afghanistan during that time.
What is the charge for that? Is it like perjury or something, or like what?
Fraud, right?
Is it fraud?
It would be something like fraud and maybe obstruction of justice, because
It's never as bad as like domestic abuse or something charge, right?
yeah, I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
You know how there's like a sex offenders list? Is there a domestic
No.
abuse list?
Are there any other lists other than the sex offender lists? Like
There's
a
like a-
terrorist watch list?
There's like a firearm prohibition list, like
Oh yeah, what's the deal with like people who smoke weed and own guns? That's like not cool, right? Technically?
you can smoke weed and own a gun.
Wait, you can't do that
I feel like when you buy a gun, they ask you that
for a drug
because
test?
it's still a federal problem or something.
I thought they asked you if you're not Hispanic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the particulars, but I do know that
So I can get high and
firearms-
smoke weed. I can smoke weed and shoot my gun later, and it's not a problem.
I mean, if something ends up happening, then you're
Okay,
gonna
well,
be
yeah.
probably in more trouble because you were under the influence.
Of any kind, of anything, right?
Yeah, and you're like, because that's just negligence right
Oh, okay.
there. If something happens, that's
Okay.
gross negligence.
I do want to put a cap on this domestic abuse
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Let's move on.
So I want to finish it. What I mean
cap
is
it.
like, so as a, like, let's say a woman's hearing this, or she knows a friend that's a victim, what do you recommend if they don't speak English? Who can they reach out to, and without being
do
persecuted?
you know any of the resources off the top of your head?
I would just say reaching out to like your local district attorney's office, like some of the nonprofit
Okay.
legal firms
Is there any Afghan lawyers you know of, other than yourself, obviously,
that do family law.
or just could give guidance if they're in that area?
I think honestly, like if anyone reaches out to me personally,
Okay.
I will find someone for you.
Okay, so they can reach out
Yeah,
to you.
and I always tell people use me as a resource because I can't think of something like right now. But just like that woman that reached out to me, I connected her with an attorney
That's
because these law firms can get translators.
I
Like
see.
we can outsource that.
Mhm.
Like recently, we discovered this one company that you
Yeah.
literally just call them, you tell them the language that you need, and then get you somebody right then and there. Like I had a client who was from Haiti and she speaks Creole, no English whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so we just got the guy and he just translates everything that I say to her.
I see.
And it's like $100 for like an hour.
Is that really that big of a thing in the Afghan community?
What?
Domestic abuse?
Yeah.
That's our biggest like for crime
Well,
for
sexual abuse too, right?
Damn.
I think it hits a lot of communities though.
There's a lot of communities, but it's just like the surge of all these Afghans coming in, and they're bringing that Afghan style of marriage,
Afghan style is a wild way to say
Afghan
it.
style of marriage,
Yeah, when you
and
just
like
hit your woman. Is that
where you be if
they been doing that in Afghanistan?
They-
A lot. A lot of
it's-
hits, a lot of beating women, like their wives.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a lot.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it sucks. I've seen, you hate it, but I've seen people do what the boy who could fly.
What?
The boy who could fly, where the two bachas were trauma bonding. I've seen women trauma bond. Like, I get beat by my husband. And it's not the same husband, obviously, but it could be. But it wasn't.
Well, no. If you're a guy and you have multiple wives and you beat all of them, that's just bad. They're gonna come up. They're gonna gang up on you one day. You gotta be careful. That's a terrible move.
But well, no,
Bro, 4 women. I can't. They'd fuck me up.
yeah, but I feel like I would just convince if I'm in this situation. Let's say, and I'm. Just
I understand what you would do. All right, you would whisper with something to one, and they would divide and conquer.
divide and conquer.
I know you.
Thank you.
100%. But I'm just saying.
I need to
Don't
keep
hit
myself
both-
in power.
Yeah, you
I need
can't.
to shoot myself in the ear so people are like, actually, he's a victim. Let's take care of him. Now they're taking care of me.
Politics again. Did you get that
Yeah.
reference?
No.
Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, they're like, this guy's toxic. He's beating all of us up. And then I'll just shoot myself in the ear, be like, I just got shot. I need help from all of you. And then they'll be like, all
We
right.
should probably start wrapping up. I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is the system rigged against minorities?
I don't think I might get in trouble for saying this. I don't think it's intentional.
Yeah. But
You
the
know.
laws are just so old, and the way they're written was by like old white dudes. So it's
I think San Diego is relatively progressive because I personally have not seen it firsthand.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure it exists. I haven't seen it firsthand, and I think the prosecutors that I've personally been dealing with seem to be sympathetic of the minority viewpoint. Because I remember this one case where, do we have time?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we have time.
So I had a client who is from a third world country who recently came here and left some kids in a car while she went into the grocery store.
my goodness.
Okay, and one of the things that I
Is there a
argue,
dog with them?
a what?
Did they leave a dog in the car too?
No, just
Just
two
kids?
just two toddlers. Yeah.
all right. That's
And and you know they wanted her to plead to like a child abuse case and stuff like that. And I had a very honest conversation with the DA. I'm like, listen, she's from a third world country. Like this concept of like you can't leave your kids in the car, like that doesn't register for her.
What happened to the kids?
They were fine, but like the cops showed up, broke the windows, took the kids out,
Oh my
type of situation.
Wow.
Oh, so the kids weren't even harmed. Like they were just a little hot, maybe.
Yeah, I think they were like crying and it grabbed attention.
Yeah.
And but like to her, it's like it's hot, but like my country is hot, and like there's kids in cars there, right?
Yeah.
So it for her it didn't register that this was a dangerous thing to do,
Sure.
and so it wasn't like intentional. It wasn't her trying to be negligent. It wasn't her not caring about these children.
Yeah.
She was like their nanny type of
Yeah.
thing, okay? And so the DA was receptive to that, right?
So
Because
so intent is vital in law, pretty much, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And her case ended up getting dismissed. You know, so if that was a white woman, probably wouldn't have gotten dismissed, because you would assume someone that grew up here would know better,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like socially as a culture, like this is bad.
So there's a benefit to being a minority sometimes.
Yeah.
So if I was
Okay,
part
let's-
of
Let's slow down now.
a domestic abuse case, I'd be like, wait a minute, back home, that's all they're doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know there was other types of.
It's
Love.
the system is unfair when it's the minorities not being able to hire the right type of representation.
Yeah.
And so they just get someone that's not advocating on their behalf as strong as, let's say I would, because my firm is a little bit more expensive, right? So
Got you.
not everybody can afford our services. So you may have to hire someone else that might not be as good,
I see. I see. So you guys are like kind of like Lululemon, you would say.
I think
Yeah.
we're like Versace. I think we're a little higher than
God damn, dude, shitted on your fucking analogy.
Wow.
Lululemon, poor bitch.
maybe
Fuck it.
maybe Hermes.
Okay.
Maybe Hermes.
Wow, just worse and worse.
Yeah.
No, because it's always interesting because all these like fashion companies are like, we're tolerant of the gays, the T's, all of these people. We love everyone. But then their prices are so expensive. It's like, but you don't like the poors.
Yeah, because they can't afford what we sell.
'Cause you
And that's
guys
the
are
point.
that good. We're that good.
Well, everything good costs money, right?
Yes, exactly.
Everything's transactional.
Everything's transactional.
So
And this is amazing. Where can people find you?
I am on Instagram at Defend Yousufi.
Dope.
okay, that's your last name?
That's my last name.
Okay,
It's a play
great.
on words. I hope you guys understood that. Defend
Defend-
you,
Oh, you.
defend you, and then
Yeah,
Sufi.
we got it. We're just teasing.
Sufi? Like, are you Sufi?
No, Yousufi.
But then it's like, yeah, but the you makes sense.
What's her name?
Yeah, but if it's like a play on a word.
I capitalize YOU,
Okay,
so it's
there we go.
clear.
Yeah, I'll defend you, Sufi.
Got
Yeah.
it.
The Sufi is silent.
Yeah, it was like our bad. Her name was Yusuf.
Okay.
Defend you.
I'm like, why can't you be like defend you?
I don't know. But thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
You have
Thank you
fun?
so much for having me. I had a lot of fun. I hope I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, no. Why
I
me?
don't think I
I don't
said
know.
anything
Yeah.
offensive.
Okay. I think it was fun. But this is awesome. We really appreciate you. Like, we're proud of you for seeing like an Afghan woman in our community, like, mashallah, so smart, so educated. Obviously, I think your parents that are hopefully watching the better parts of this.
Parents watch this?
They're not gonna listen to this now. I'm not gonna let them.
Thank
good
you
call.
for not letting them.
Yeah.
Block them before you share any of this stuff.
For sure.
Or maybe not. But it's what's iftikhar? Is that the word? Iftikhar is like, we're proud and we're like, oh, this is sick. Like, you're clearly an inspiration to other young Afghan women that are like, hey, I want to be like her. This is sick. Like, she speaks so confidently about the things that she know. Like,
Straight girl bossing. You know?
yeah, exactly.
Yes, queen, if you will.
Thank
Exactly.
you. Thank you. I mean, I'm proud of you guys too. And I listen to the podcast.
Okay, we'll take that. Yeah. Thank you so much. So
Thanks for being here.
for the fans at home, the people that listen, look
Check out our
out for it.
Patreon, you pieces of shit.
or if you know what Patreon is.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't know what it was.
We have secret episodes. I say crazier shit.
Exactly.
So,
All right.
Thank you.
Until next time.
You're watching Awjiz Boys Show.